Welcome to Daily Armor. Today I'm going to be in Psalms 37. This is another one of those books in the Bible. This is the whole chapter, really. I did an extensive study on it in the past because I was going through a fretting moment in my life, a season of fretting. I have a tendency to keep going back to that, so I have to keep going back to Psalms 37. Woke up feeling a little bit anxious and asking the Lord, Lord, please help me, and immediately fret not. And I'm like, oh, I know that's Psalms 37. And so I've come and reminding myself of what do I do when I feel this way. Now sometimes it's hormonal for us ladies. It's hormonal so a lot of times. And sometimes we just, we've all got like a gazillion things going on, and we feel overwhelmed to try to take care of so many things all at the same time. And we feel like we're trying to eat an elephant, and we're trying to eat it all at the same time when we just need to do it one bite at a time, one thing at a time. And we're multitaskers. I'm a multitasker. So I like getting done a lot of things all at the same time. I'm thinking about this, thinking about that, and I'm, my husband, it has a tendency to be a one thing on his, he kind of gets focused on one thing. And then he waits till, he's done with that, and then he changes gears. And my gears are kind of in all directions at the same time. I think that's something that us women have a tendency to do. I think that's just, it's part of running a home, and there's lots of different things going on with house and work and children and grandchildren and events and obligations and then personal things. I mean, those personal things are there, but a lot of times they're way down on the bottom of the list. And we can get overwhelmed and frustrated. And then maybe there's some obstacles that are in the way, and they're just constantly in the way, and they're just nagging at you, and they're just gnawing at you, and they're just rubbing you, and aggravating you. And we all have those things. Sometimes they are this, we seem to be in a season of it, and where there's this big something that's before us, this big challenge that's before us. And we're just, we're so frustrated, and we just don't know what to do. And so Psalms 37 has been a source of comfort for me. The Lord has helped me to take that anxiety and do something productive with it. And so let's look at Psalms 37. I'm not going to read the whole psalm, but I am going to read the first 8 verses, and Lord willing, we'll touch on a little bit of those 8 verses. I know I'm a little bit short on time this morning. I had some other things going on this morning, so I don't have a lot of time before the baby gets here. But we'll see how far we get with Psalms 37. Verse number 1 says, "Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass, wither as the green herb." Reminding us that a lot of times what we're fretting over is the true and awful enemy. And he's powerful, and he's dangerous, and it's overwhelming. And the Lord is saying, I don't want you to be fretting over this. That I'm that sheep sometimes that's jumping up and down, and that's panicking, and that's wailing, and this just, squawk, I'm just squawking. And I'm like, Lord, don't you see that? Lord, don't you know? Lord. And he's like, yes, but I'm with you, and I have everything under control, and you don't need to be fretting. That's what the enemy is wanting us to do. And I fall prey to that. And I'm fighting against that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to fret about stuff. I want to be patient. I want to be calm. I don't want my joy, be distracted and somebody trying to take my joy, or something trying to take my joy. I want to be joyful in the waiting and in the being patient. I mean, I'm forced to be patient, but that doesn't mean that I'm doing it gracefully. I'm not graceful about a whole lot of things. And I guess, I'm fighting against that I want to be. I want to be graceful about it. I want to be calm about it. But even in the midst of that enemy, the Lord is saying, I don't want you to fret. And these are some ways on how to not fret. Verse number 3 says to trust. Do I trust in myself? Do I trust in what I see? Do I trust, in this circumstance? Do I trust in that doctor report? Do I trust in, what my body is telling me? What this anxiety is trying to get me all anxious about? No, it says trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord and do good. So not only am I to trust, I'm to do something. I'm to do something with this energy. I'm to do something with this anxiety, and I'm to do something good. That doesn't mean good for myself. If I do something good for somebody else, then it's going to be good for myself. It's going to be how that my body handles this anxiety and what it does with this excessive amount of pent up energy. And, it gives me something to do with it and something constructive to do with it. And the Lord says to do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. And then verse number 4 says delight. So I'm to trust in Him. I'm to trust Him. I'm to do good. I'm to delight in Him. Not delight in myself, not delight in somebody else, but delight in Him. That means for me, I need to go back in that memory book. I need to go back and think about all the times that the Lord has specifically moved in my life, specifically for me. I mean, individually, something that was only meant something to me. It could be something as simple as that person that helped you in that moment, that you were really in pain and really tired and really frustrated, and yet God sent you just a little bit of help right there. Or that's something that you prayed about that don't mean anything to anybody else. It's not anything elaborate. It wasn't, something huge, but it was something that was personal to you, and you saw God move in that circumstance. That's something that only He knew, and He provided. And how thankful that we can be. That's what I can delight in when I'm feeling this. And commit, verse number 5 says to commit. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust is a word is in there again. So again, we're to trust Him and to rest. Sometimes we need to rest. Rest in the Lord helps us to calm down. And while we're waiting, I seem to be in a state of waiting. I'm waiting to live. I'm waiting to get to do this. I'm waiting to get to do that. I'm waiting for this to take place. I'm waiting for that. I'm always waiting. Waiting for the cameras to get fixed. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for that. But what do I do in the midst of all that? I'm to trust Him, and I'm to continue to wait. And He reminds me again to fret not. Don't fret about it. And what does fret mean? Fret is something that when we are constantly and visibly worried and visibly anxious, when our body is not just, our minds are not just feeling it, but it's visible. It's that visible worry. When, I'm kind of, rocking my hand, or I'm tapping my foot, or I'm pecking at something, or I'm pacing the floor. That's a visible fretness. And what am I to do about that? I am to trust. I'm to delight in Him. I'm to commit to Him. I'm to rest in Him, and I'm to wait on Him. And then about any of that anger that I feel, it says to cease from that and forsake wrath. Because a lot of times do we want to do when we're fretting about something? We are wanting to take matters into our own hands. We're wanting to do something about it ourselves. Because all we're wanting to do is for it to stop. And the Lord's saying, I'm telling you how to stop. I'm telling you, trust me, delight in me, commit to me, and rest in me. That's how you stop the fretting. And this other stuff is not going to do anything but make things worse. And so I hope that you get some help out of Psalms 37. Continue to read the whole chapter. But I wanted to just deal with the first 8 verses. It's something that's helped me in the past and something that's helping me today, and it will help me in the future. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again soon.